7. 6.
Can't be, that's inside the room.
It's reading right, man, look.
Well, you're not reading it right.
5 meters, man.
Hey everybody, Stacks here. Today I'm checking out Xmen number 9. It's got Jonathan Hickman writing it, Francis Lionel Yu as your artist, and Sunny Go as your colorist. Before we get started, a couple of announcements. Of course, make sure you're subscribed. That's the big one. And the other one, though, is we're going to start trying to do some live streams, 10 p.m. Central Standard Time. It's just going to be me and some friends just hanging out, talking comic books, just getting through this mess together, just kind of decompressing. We'll probably have some topic discussions, like I think we're going to do Days of Future Past as one of them, and probably talk some of the X-Men books later in the week. But make sure you hop on that stream. We always have a great chat. Everybody's really interactive, so go check it out, and you should be able to find it pretty easily on the channel. It's also all the more reason to go ahead, hit that subscribe button, and hit the bell for notifications so you don't miss them. Alright, so that's enough talking. Let's get into X-Men number 9. So the book starts in Hala, the Kree Empire. You're sitting there and you have an accuser. He's sitting there and he asks these two Kree soldiers, where did you find them? And the Kree soldiers explain how they found these beasts, what they thought was unintelligent beings. They were near a dark matter flow of a collapsed universe. And they tell a story about how they went in and they decided to take a closer look, and they thought these creatures were rather unintelligent until they realized that they were consuming members of the team by luring them in and trapping them. That's when they realized that they were dealing with this highly adaptive and aggressive species. And that's what the accuser hooks onto. He's like, adaptive? Adaptive how? So they turn this poor cat in there loose with this brood, and she explains, look, they consume not just the host, but also the knowledge that that host contained. We call him the Brood Watch. And of course, this poor cat that they threw in with them is not got a chance. He gets thrown down and transformed into a second brood. From there, the accuser asks about the structure of the brood hive, and they go into explaining how the queens work and how they actually have these factional dueling hives that follow different queens. And they also propose their big idea that they want to weaponize the brood. They want to produce an element and introduce it that would seize control of their entire society, not just one queen, but all of the queens. And then when the time is right, they can take that and they can turn it loose on a rival civilization. Well, once they've satisfied the interest of the accuser, they're able to go and take this before the Kree Supreme Intelligence. The Supreme Intelligence goes into its data deep dive and figures out that, look, in order for this to be a viable means to conquer another civilization of our scale, it would take 8 millennia for a hive to possess sufficient volume to topple one of those rival empires. And of all the rivals out there, the most favorable target with this weapon would be the Shi'ar Empire. And with that, he approves the weapon. From there, we jump 8,000 years in the future, and we're back with the Summers brothers, Broo and Jean Grey. And they are hauling butt trying to get away from these Akkadi space whales. And Scott's telling them, look, they're gaining on us. I ain't got any more gas pedal. I can't hold them off much longer. And Havok points forward and says, don't worry about what's behind us. Look ahead of us. And when they look forward, you have hundreds more of these Akkadi, at least dozens in the picture, but they're just coming in waves, and they're all infected, just crawling with brood. From there, we jump back to this Kree accuser who's managed to capture the Starjammers, and he's talking via his hologram to Sunspot, and Sunspot is telling him, look, I totally forgot about the egg. Of course, he's joking. He tells him that he sat down with Cannonball and they started watching the Shi'ar version of Jeopardy, and it totally slipped his mind. And like I already said, he's like, just relax, I'm joking. I made some calls, and the good news is that egg, it's coming your way. The bad news, however, and there's a big thump on the outside of the hull of the ship, and he says, the accuser says, we're being boarded. He's like, yeah, the bad news is Sam's wife tracked you, and you've got something else on your way. Sam pops up, says, bang, bang, dummies. And right at that time, this door blows open and Gladiator and some of the Shiar Guards walk in. And this darn accuser, he don't even have a shot. Gladiator just draws back, cocks a right, and just lets him have it. Boom, right in the mouth. And dude falls blown out the hole. He ends up, flying into the mouth of one of these big whales, and he's done for. He ain't coming back, homie. Unfortunately, back with the Summer Brothers, they've run out of gas. Not literally, but they cannot get away from this thing, and it chomps down on the back of the ship, and they are just trying everything they can. At this point, Scott's just trying to hold the ship together. They decide the best thing they could do is head to the planet, but they spot the space station up ahead of them. So Havok radios forward and says, look, hey guys, you need to evacuate immediately. There's a brood swarm behind us. And he's like, what, Dad? What are you doing here? And Corsair's like, look, I know it's a long story, but we can catch up later. Right now, I need to know what happened to the Brood King egg. And Havok's like, yeah, we have it. Well, Gladiator's like realizing, oh, this is about a king egg. Now I understand. And he asks him if they're landing on the planet, and Scott's got this look on him like, landing? No, not exactly. We're heading that way, though. And that space station doesn't last about another half second after that, because one of those darn whales just flies right into the side of it, and the whole thing detonates, and all this debris is raining down on this planet below. Well, the team links up down below, and at first I started to be like, okay, you guys said you need to head down to the planet to get a larger canvas, and the first thing they do is run into a cave. But I thought about it, and it makes sense because you got debris raining down from above, so I'm gonna give them a buy on that one. And from this point, the book gets really exciting. They head into this cave, and of course the Brood are following because they're following the Brood egg. And you get Jean's explanation of what's going on inside the Brood's head, how there's a Brood queen must have absolute control. And you go about knowing that you have millions of followers, millions of zealots that will go out, and they will do whatever they tell you to do just so you can consume more than you already have. Consider the appetite of it, the power of it, and then try to imagine what that must feel like when something unforeseen that could take that all away from you all of a suddenly appears. And worse than that, it would turn you to one of those ones that have been working for you, that have been sacrificing for you. It would turn you to a drone. How motivated would you be to take out that threat? How badly would you want to see that threat die? And then Jean says, these queens would sacrifice absolutely everything to hold on to their power. And the team is just getting swarmed from all sides. They're just pouring in from every angle. Corsairs and Hezbollah has already been separated from the group. Gladiators up there just thrashing folks. A Cyclops just laying beams down, but you can see up above him where there's just dozens just flooding his way. He can't even swing his head back and forth fast enough. And I absolutely love this page with Havok, Vulcan, Scott, and Jean all back to back, just there in the middle, just surrounded by these things, just trying to survive. And then Jean says that's what the threat that the king egg is. They will kill everything that stands in between them and that egg. Everything. And then you have Jean yelling, Scott, look out! Scott! And all these things, all the Brood are just closing in on him. Vulcan gets wrapped up. And then suddenly, it stops. All of them. All of the Brood just stop in a circle around the four that we were just talking about. And they pick each other up off the floor. They're sitting there looking and trying to figure out what's happening. That's when Oracle says, no, this isn't a win. The Brood are a hive mind with a singular goal. This is something larger. This shouldn't be happening. And Corsair's just wiping Brood guts off of him, saying, where's the egg? And everyone looks up. And up on this little pillar is Broo. And all he does is apologize. He says, sorry, I ate it. And then you get this look, him standing before this massive Brood army. And it quotes again from back in X-Men 8, a spawning ground for predators, for parasites, for Brood. 10,000 worlds, 6 trillion drones, 1,000 queens, and now 1 king. So there's 2 white pages after that I'll get into a minute, but this book was humming along, man. It was intense. I was really enjoying it. And when everything stopped and it went to this, as much as I love this shot, I was still like, that's it? That's the breaks? And I mean, that's okay though. I mean, I was going. This was a really fun book. This was intense. I really liked it. I really like the Brood anyways. I thought the art was great. I thought Francis Lionel Yu was very much back in his element on this. I really enjoyed the full page panel. It's just a one page of the big fight scene in the middle with, like I said, all the Summers brothers all back together. I thought that was pretty awesome. But now I'm also really interested with everything going on to see how this ties into Empyre, and I didn't want to hear myself say that, because in actuality, the Xmen just got the Brood recruited. Now, there's some stipulations here, and I'll go into this white page just a little bit to help explain. So what the King Egg is, it actually is a container for a serum that alters and enhances the biology of the King Egg host. So once he drank it, he was able to basically control the entire hive, but it's not forever. It's an estimated 5 to 10 standard Kree cycles. So I want y'all to try this, because no, I'm not kidding. Because I don't know how long a Kree cycle is. So I went and typed it into Google, right? Do me a favor, y'all go type it into Google and let me know what you found. After that, if anyone actually knows how long a standard Kree cycle is, just let me know down in the comments below. But definitely go type that into Google and just see what happens. So overall, definitely a recommend on this book. Good story, good art. I mean, everything you want. It was fast paced, one thing after another. And the end, it was like go, 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 breaks, and wow. It's going to be interesting to see the fallout from this. Like I said, you have now Broo, who is over the entire Brood species, colony, whatever you want to call it. And he can take down a whole empire by the Supreme Intelligence's estimate. So, it's going to be crazy to see what happens, man. Anyways, guys, that's all I got for this one. Make sure I'm going to be posting Fantastic Four and X-Men later this week, and a couple others. I'm going to try to get as many books as I can knocked out, but I'm also doing live streams, 10 p.m., like I said, trying to do them every night, at least during the week. We'll see what happens. I'm going to try to keep it up, but, jobs and all that crazy stuff. I'm still having to go to work, so we'll see what happens. Guys, appreciate it. Hit the subscribe button, hit the bell for notifications, leave a like, please, if you're still on the video, man. Take the time to leave a like. It helps draw more views to the channel. And always, guys, leave a comment. Tell me what you think down below, guys. I appreciate you watching. Real Comic Stacks, out.